There is a text, a single page of writing that has birthed entire civilizations, sparked the Renaissance, and laid the foundation for modern science, alchemy, and quantum mechanics. It is not a religious scripture. It is not a philosophy book. It is a technical manual for the operation of the universe. For thousands of years, it was rumored to be carved into a slab of imperishable green stone, the Emerald Tablet. The words were attributed to a figure who is more than a man, a figure who walks the line between history and myth. Hermes Trismegistus, the thrice great, the master of masters. Legend says that Alexander the Great found it in the tomb of Hermes, clutched in the hands of his mummy. Isaac Newton, the father of modern physics, spent more time translating it than he did working on the laws of gravity. Carl Jung built his entire psychology of the unconscious upon its principles. Why? Why have the greatest minds in human history been obsessed with these few cryptic lines? As above, so below. As within, so without. Because they knew something that we have forgotten. They knew that the Emerald Tablet is not a relic of the past. It is a code for the future. It is the source code of reality itself. You are watching this because you are ready to remember. You are ready to stop playing the game of life by accident and start playing it by the rules. The real rules. Not the rules of society or culture or religion, but the immutable, unbreakable laws of the cosmos. These laws act like gravity. You do not have to believe in gravity to fall, and you do not have to believe in the Hermetic Principles to be ruled by them. But if you do understand them, if you can align your mind, your emotions, and your actions with these 7 principles, you stop falling. You start flying. This video is an initiation. We are going to walk through the 7 gates of the Kybalion. We are going to decode the cryptic wisdom of Hermes and translate it into a practical, modern protocol for mastering your reality. This is not about worshiping an ancient god. It is about waking up the god within you. Principle number 1, the principle of mentalism. The all is mind. The universe is mental. This is the first and greatest law. It is the foundation upon which all other laws rest. If you understand this, you hold the master key. The tablet tells us that everything you see, the stars, the planets, the chair you are sitting on, your own body, is a mental projection of the one mind. The universe is not a collection of physical things. It is a thought. It is a dream in the mind of the all. For centuries, materialism taught us that matter creates mind, that your brain creates your consciousness. But Hermeticism says the opposite. Consciousness creates matter. Modern physics is finally catching up to this. They call it the unified field. They call it the quantum hologram. They tell us that matter is not solid, it is energy. And what directs energy? Observation. Consciousness. The implications of this are staggering. If the universe is mental, then the only way to change the universe is to change your mind. Most people try to change their lives by manipulating matter. They work harder, they move furniture, they switch jobs, they argue with people. They are trying to change the dream by fighting the dream figures. This is exhaustion. This is futility. It is like trying to comb your hair by combing the reflection in the mirror. You can scrub the mirror all day, but the reflection will not change until you change. The master, the hermeticist, changes the dream by changing the dreamer. You must realize that your personal mind is a drop in the ocean of the universal mind. They are the same substance. Your thoughts have the same creative power as the thoughts of the Creator, just on a smaller scale. Every thought you think is a seed planted in the matrix of the universe. Most people are planting weeds, thoughts of fear, lack, worry, and doubt, and then wondering why their garden is overgrown. Think about the last time you were truly afraid. Maybe you were worried about money. That worry wasn't just a private event in your head. It was a broadcast. It was a signal sent into the mental fabric of your reality. arranging circumstances to confirm your fear. The principle of mentalism commands you to become the guardian of your own mind, to stand at the gate of your consciousness and only allow entry to thoughts that align with the reality you wish to experience. Your mind is not a container for information. It is a generator of reality. You are building your world, brick by mental brick, in every waking moment. Principle number 2, the principle of correspondence. As above, so below, as below, so above. This is the most famous line from the tablet. But what does it mean? It is the law of mirrors. It tells us that there is a perfect correspondence between the different planes of existence. The macrocosm, the universe, reflects the microcosm, you. The pattern of the atom is the pattern of the solar system. The pattern of your mind is the pattern of your life. This principle destroys the illusion of separation. It tells us that the outer world and the inner world are not two different things. They are two sides of the same coin. Your outer world is the public expression of your inner world. Your inner world is the private blueprint of your outer world. This is the ultimate diagnostic tool. If you want to know what is happening in your subconscious mind, the below, look at your physical life, the above. Look at your bank account. Look at your relationships. Look at your health. They are not random events. They are printouts. They are the physical readout of your internal state. If your desk is messy, your mind is messy. If your relationships are chaotic, your emotions are chaotic. If your body is inflamed, your thoughts are inflamed. There is no separation. Out there is just a reflection of in here. This removes all victimhood. You can no longer say, "Why is this happening to me?" You must ask, what in me is vibrating at the frequency of this event? What is the correspondence? This is a hard pill to swallow, but it is the medicine of freedom. Because if the world is a mirror, then you don't have to fix the world. You just have to fix the reflection. You have to change the image you are projecting. If you smile at the mirror has no choice but to smile back. We can also use this law to understand the divine. If you want to understand the nature of God or the universe, look at yourself. You create, you destroy, you love, you organize. You are a fractal of the whole. By studying the pattern of a single leaf, you can understand the pattern of a forest. By mastering the small things, your daily habits, your thoughts, your breath, you gain the power to master the big things, your career, your destiny, your soul. Principle number 3, the principle of vibration. Nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates. Science confirms this. Nothing is solid, everything is energy in motion. The difference between lead and gold, between ice and steam, between a sad person and a happy person, is simply a difference in the rate of vibration. High vibrations control low vibrations. This is the secret of personal magnetism. Everything in the universe has its own unique vibrational signature. A rock vibrates at a very slow, low frequency. Light vibrates at an incredibly high, fast frequency. Your emotions are vibrations too. When you are feeling fear, anger, or shame, you are vibrating at a low, dense frequency. You feel heavy. You attract heavy situations. You become dense matter. When you are feeling love, joy, or gratitude, you are vibrating at a high, rapid frequency. You feel light. You attract light situations. You become radiant energy. The Hermetic Master knows that he can change his mental state by an act of will. He can transmute his vibration. This is called mental transmutation. If you are feeling low, you do not have to stay there. You can apply the law. You can force a change in your vibration. You can use music. You can use breath. You can use movement. You can use gratitude. Imagine a spinning fan. When it is on low, you can see the blades. It looks solid. But when you turn it to high, the blades disappear. It becomes transparent. It becomes spirit. By raising your own rate of vibration, you become less solid to the problems of the world. You become immune to the lower vibrations around you. A high-frequency person walking into a low-frequency room acts like a tuning fork. They do not get dragged down. They pull the room up. Or the low-frequency elements simply leave because they cannot exist in that atmosphere. You must become the master of your own frequency. Do not let the news, or your boss, or the weather dictate your vibration. Set your frequency in the morning and hold it like a shield throughout the day. Mastering your vibration is mastering your immunity to chaos. Principle number 4, the principle of polarity. Everything is dual. Everything has poles. Everything has its pair of opposites. Hot and cold are not two different things. They are the same thing, temperature, just at different degrees. There is no line on the thermometer where hot stops and cold begins. It is a sliding scale. Light and dark are the same thing, illumination at different degrees. Love and hate are the same thing, emotional intensity at different frequencies. This is the alchemist's greatest tool, because things are the same in nature. They can be transmuted into each other. You cannot turn a rock into a thought, because they are different natures. But you can turn fear into courage. You can turn hate into love. You can turn sadness into joy. They are sliding scales on the same pole. They belong to the same family. Most people are slaves to their polarity. They swing back and forth like a pendulum. Happy one day, depressed the next, motivated, then lazy. They are victims of the environment. The Hermeticist learns the art of polarization. They learn to mentally fix their attention on the positive pole and hold it there by will. When you feel hate rising, you don't fight it. You recognize it is just the lower end of the love pole. You slide your intention up the scale. You focus on understanding, on compassion. You transmute the energy. You don't kill the dragon. You tame it and ride it. Fear is just faith in the wrong thing. Worry is just imagination used to create what you don't want. It is the same energy, just misdirected. This principle teaches us that every problem has a solution, because the problem and the solution are the same thing, just seen from different perspectives. If there is a down, there must be an up. If there is a question, there must be an answer. By polarizing your mind to the solution, you make the problem disappear, because you have raised its vibration to the point where it becomes the answer. Principle number 5, the principle of rhythm. Everything flows out and in. Everything has its tides. All things rise and fall. Look at the ocean. Look at the seasons. Look at the economy. Look at your own energy levels. Life moves in a rhythm, a pendulum swing, a heartbeat. For every high, there is a low. For every action, a reaction. For every expansion, a contraction. This law seems depressing to some. It seems to say that if you are happy now, you are destined to be sad later. If you are rich now, you must be poor later. The pendulum swing to the right creates the momentum for the swing to the left. But the Hermetic masters found a loophole. They found a way to escape the backward swing of the pendulum. It is called the law of neutralization. They realized that there are two planes of consciousness: the lower plane, emotional/reactive, and the higher plane, mental/spiritual. The pendulum swings on the lower plane. To escape the crash, you must rise to the higher plane. When the tide goes out in your life, when you lose money, when you feel low, when things go wrong, you do not identify with it. You observe it. You refuse to be swept away by the emotion. You stay in the higher mind. You say, "This too shall pass. This is just the winter. The spring is inevitable." By staying neutral, by refusing to react emotionally to the downtime, you preserve your energy. You let the pendulum swing back underneath you while you remain stable. You don't stop the rhythm. You cannot stop the tide, but you stop the impact of the rhythm on your state of being. You float above the storm. You learn to use the rhythm instead of being used by it. You rest when the tide is out. You act when the tide is in. You flow with the seasons of your life, trusting that the downswing is just the gathering of momentum for the next upswing. Principle number 6. The principle of cause and effect. Every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause. Chance is just a name for a law not recognized. There is no such thing as luck. There is no such thing as an accident. Everything that happens in your life is an effect of a specific cause. The reason most people feel powerless is that they are living on the side of effect. They are reacting to the world. They are victims of their environment, their genetics, their parents, the economy. They are pawns on the chessboard of life, being moved by forces they do not understand. The Hermeticist moves to the side of cause. They realize that they are the cause of their own reality. They become the player, not the pawn. They start to originate causes. They consciously plant seeds of thought and action, knowing that the law must yield a harvest. If you are broke, it is an effect. Trace it back. What was the cause? Was it a belief about money? Was it a lack of skill? Was it fear? Do not judge it. Just identify it. And then set a new cause. If you want a different effect, wealth, you must initiate a different cause, value, service, belief. You cannot cheat this law. You cannot reap where you have not sown. But the beauty is, if you do so, you must reap. The universe is not a lottery. It is a machine. And you are the operator. When you take 100% responsibility for your life, you gain 100% of the power. You stop waiting for a miracle and you start causing one. You realize that you are the author of your own story, and the pen is in your hand. Principle number 7. The principle of gender. Gender is in everything. Everything has its masculine and feminine principles. This is not about sex. It is about the creative forces of the universe. Every creation, a child, a business, a painting, a new life, requires the union of the masculine and the feminine. It manifests on all planes: physical, mental, and spiritual. The masculine energy is the will. It is the projective force. It is the seed. It is the conscious mind that says, I want this. It is electric. It is focus. The feminine energy is the receiver. It is the creative soil. It is the subconscious mind that takes the seed and nurtures it into form. It is magnetic. It is intuition. It is imagination. Most people are unbalanced. They have too much masculine, forcing, striving, grinding, and no feminine, trusting, allowing, receiving. They burn out. They hit walls. Or they have too much feminine, dreaming, wishing, hoping, and no masculine, action, direction, will. They stagnate. They float. To be a master creator, you must marry these two energies within yourself. You must have the clear, directive will to set a goal, masculine, and the nurturing, trusting faith to let it grow, feminine. You must work, and you must rest. You must push, and you must yield. You must visualize, and you must act. This sacred marriage within the soul is the final key to generating new reality. It is the alchemical wedding. It is the union of the king and the queen within you. When your conscious desire, masculine, impregnates your subconscious mind, feminine, with a clear image, and you nurture that image with feeling, the birth of the new reality is inevitable. It is the physics of creation. These are the 7 keys. The Emerald Tablet ends with a phrase, 3 parts of the philosophy of the whole world. Hermes is called Trismegistus, thrice great, because he mastered the 3 planes, the physical, the mental, and the spiritual. He understood that you cannot just live in the clouds, and you cannot just live in the dirt. You must be the bridge. You must bring the wisdom of the stars down into the work of your hands. You have heard the code. But knowledge is not power. Knowledge is only potential power. power is knowledge applied. The tablet warns that the secrets are covered with darkness from those who do not understand. That means if you do not use them, they remain just words. They remain darkness. But if you apply them, if you start to see your life through the lens of vibration, polarity, and cause, the darkness lifts. The lead turns to gold. You are the alchemist. Your life is the laboratory, and the time to begin the great work is now.